Hey, good morning, everyone. Dan the Glassman here, and we are now in the Glasscast. I believe it's episode 12, maybe episode 13. We'll have to figure that out. Another episode of Glasscast. So today, I wanted to talk about life and loss, and uh, and also just remember, the water is life. And every drop counts. And we're all connected through this vast ocean of life. We're all drops of water in this vast ocean of life. So we all count. Every drop counts. Water is life, and every drop counts. Before we get started, let me just show you what I've been working on. Check out these twins here. Beautiful balloons. Let me set these aside so nothing happens to these. Got quite a few of them custom balloons over there. Been working on hot air balloons, getting ready for Balloon Fiesta in Albuquerque here. And so that's what I'll be making today. And we'll just talk about life and loss. So recently, since about June, I think it was around June, was when I started noticing people that I know in my life started losing them. Um, throughout the years, of course, I've lost many people. Including my own child at 3.5 months old from SIDS, which possibly may have happened, at 3.5 months old, was right after the 3 month checkup and the very first round of the inoculations or the jabs, the very first ones that children get. And that was a very, very hard loss, an extremely hard loss to lose your child. And over time, throughout the years, finding my new spiritual path in Krishna consciousness and doing my best to be a devotee of Krishna. I'm definitely not I'm nowhere near being a perfect devotee, but I definitely keep Krishna in my heart always, and always chanting the Hari Nam, Hare Krishna, Hari Bol. And so, on this new spiritual path, I've learned about renunciation, about letting go of everything, and to let go of all things. And that doesn't mean to then to lose responsibility of things. It means to let go, knowing that nothing is ours, that it all comes from Creator, wherever Creator may be, all around, all within. We're always pointing upward, right? Always to the North Star. But in my teachings, in learning of Krishna consciousness and learning that nothing is ours, that all things belong to Creator. And when you know this and you understand it, then it becomes easier to accept when you have a loss in life, when you lose a loved one, when when they're when their journey, when their experience here on earth suddenly stops, we all feel it. Those who are connected to those individuals, if you're connected to someone that you've just lost, you feel that tragedy, you feel the tragic loss, you feel kind of like an emptiness, like a part of you has been lost as well. And when you understand that all things are connected, we're all one. Everyone says that, we're all one, but what does that really mean? And if you understand the whole interconnection of everything and how creation works, and you will come to learn that we are all living through the same soul, the same creator. We're all living through the same soul, the same soul of creator, or God, if you will. And we're all living through creator's experience. And creator has basically manifested himself within us, is us. We are creator, we are creation, but on a different level. And that's the thing. The spark of the fire is still part of the fire and the flame, even though it's just a spark. And all it takes is a spark to create the fire and the flame. So when you understand this and you create that spark within, and you understand that you are that fire and that flame, all connected, but through a different way, a different experience. And then you can understand that creator is just experiencing life on earth here through us, through our experiences. And that's all we're doing. We're collecting experiences, we're collecting memories, information, we're collecting new life data from this point in life since the beginning of creation. And it all goes back to the Akashic records, and it all becomes one again. So when you can understand we're all one in that way, in that sense. Now, we don't have the power of creator. We can't just snap our fingers and poof, there's another planet. But then again, we can. We do have the power in order to create life within us. And so we have that power of creation, of being creator and co-creator, all as one. And so it's a beautiful thing to really understand what it means by we're all one, and we're all connected in that way. And we're all going through our own experiences, and we're all collecting this data, the Akashic data, the Akashic records, all the information. It all gets stored all back again to the great source, right back to the ocean, right? We're all drops of water in this vast ocean of life. Life doesn't stop here just on earth. You have to remember that we have a spiritual life that we're all living. And we're all on a spiritual path. And so, in knowing and understanding we're all connected, we're all having our own experiences, but we're all one. All doing the same things, but all different. And yet all for the same goal. All basically to just experience life, to collect those experiences, that data, that knowledge, the information. And that's pretty much it. And so when you understand that everything belongs to Creator, nothing is ours, when we go, We can't take anything with us. There's nothing that we can take with us besides the memories, the knowledge, that information that we've collected, all that love, everything that we've ever done, the life experience, that's what we take back with us. And so, for me, it makes it easier to just know that we're all connected in those ways, and we all have to journey on at some point. We all must perish. There is no other way. People are saying that yes, you can get out of this experience through ascension, and being able to ascend to the 5D and to these other different realms. But as we are all here on Earth in this loka, a loka is like a planetary realm, and for in Krishna consciousness, we understand that the Earth is one of the lower lokas. There are upper lokas as well. And these are where the gods and the deities reside from our understandings of Krishna consciousness. Which a lot of people will interpret as the heavens, right? And some people will interpret it as the waters, right? The waters above, so below. For me, though, in understanding that everything belongs to Creator, we don't take anything back with us except for those experiences and that knowledge, that information, that love that we shared here. We take that love all back to Creator, to the Source, and we get reconnected in that way. And for us, we understand in Krishna consciousness that there is a way out of the cycle of birth and death. That you don't have to continuously do this cycle of birth and death over and over again. Because in the cycle of birth and death, there is also it's a suffering. And that's 2 of the 4 stages of suffering from what I understand. And I think that there could be more, but maybe not. I just got the answer as I was saying that. And maybe not. So from my understanding, the 4 stages of suffering is birth, dis-ease or disease, and then old age, and then death. And we all go through this experience here on Earth. We all cycle through it over and over and over again to continuously gain these experiences of love and life, being creators, being able to have intimate relationships with individuals who then we co-create life with Creator, without that spark of life, without having that place within us, in order to be able to then create life, to be able to have the seed and the flower, to be able to pollinate in those ways and create life again and again and again. That's what creation is. That's what God is. God is that energy, that effulgent energy that puts that spark in it in order to then create life, or else it's just an act of sexual intercourse, but other than that, it's an intimate bond. Whenever you connect in that way with another individual, you're connecting with their soul, you're connecting with so much of what's been placed within them through Creator, which then creates all of the biological chemical reactions and changes and everything, which then can form life. And so that's the beauty of humans, and especially for women, for females, for those who are able to bring forth life within them, and to process the living soul into a human baby. That's one of the most beautiful things that I understand as for being a woman, is having that connection with Creator, that you actually co-create life in that way. That men can't do that. I'm speaking biologically, and when I speak biologically, I'm also speaking on a creation level. I'm talking about the cells, the nucleus, the different chromosomes, the different way that creates life in all of this. Talking about like the Higgs boson particle and how it holds these electrons and protons and neutrons together. Without that energy, without that God energy, the God particle, the Higgs boson particle, without that magnetic force of holding all of those the neutrons and protons and everything together, the cells would fall apart. You would have no bonding. That's the thing that Creator is, or God is. It's that bond that bonds the spiritual realm to life. And how we then have this experience here. But getting back to understanding that everything belongs to Creator, even that bond there on the whole, the cellular level, all the way down into the nucleus. You go into there and it looks like the universe, the macro and the micro, all over again, right? And when you can understand that it's all God, it's all creation, all Creator, and we're all working together in this way for creation, for Creator, then you can learn how to understand that nothing is ours, everything is Creator's. We are then given a certain amount of responsibility over creations, over different creations. Like you have the responsibility of your children if you're a parent, right? Everyone has the responsibility of their own bodies, right? And children, we are, parents have to then teach their children how to take care and respect their bodies, right? And those are the things that we have to take care of. They're given to us as a way of having a responsibility of Creator's things. And by things, I mean like, people, life, souls. The things of Creators is not ours, our souls are not ours. It belongs to Creator. And so when you can understand how we're all connected in this way through creation, whether you want to believe in God, Allah, Krishna, Jesus, Buddha, Gandhi, your mom, your dad, the earth, the universe, the stars and the planets, whatever it is that you want to call the effulgent utmost source of that energy, whatever it is that you want to label it as, I'm just simply going to call it creation. Because a lot of people don't like to use the word God. It throws them off. But we are all created in this way, through this energetic spark, the Higgs boson particle. Scientists can't explain it. If you haven't studied the Higgs boson particle, I would highly recommend it for greater understanding of your own existence here, and how we're all held together in that way through the electric energy field, which is what holds us all here, and our chakras and everything. It's why when we get close to individuals that we like or we love, we can feel their energy. And also when we're next to people that we don't like or love, we can feel their energy. There is this vibrational energy that comes from us as well. And so in understanding all of this, it helps to know that, you know, there is more beyond life. And when you understand that all of this connection goes from the material into the spiritual and back to the material and into the spiritual, all simultaneously, for me it just helps to know that we are all on this journey together, that no matter what, we all have to go through the 4 stages of birth, disease, old age, and death. And as we started this video, you know, I mentioned how I lost my own child at 3.5 months old. And a lot of people like to argue, well, your child didn't have to go through old age. And I have to remind them that we don't know the age of that soul that was within my child. That we don't know how many times that soul has come and gone through the cycle of birth and death, and going through all the disease and all the old age process over and over and over again. That we don't know how many lifetimes we've actually achieved or destroyed and so for me, in knowing this, it helps me to understand that we all will go through this cycle, that we all must go through it. There is no stopping it. And so instead of fighting the process, it's better to understand it and just accept it as it is. And that some souls, like my own child, having to go at 3.5 months old, that made me understand that nothing is ours. And anytime that creator or creation wants to create or destroy life, can and will. It's that simple, and we really have no say. We have no say about it. We simply have to go along with it and accept it. So, I'm not saying that it's not hard. When you lose a person that you love, you know, you lose that connection, that bond with their soul. You know, you've connected with them in such a way, you've connected with their God self and with their spiritual realm. You've gotten to know them for who they are. You know, if it's just some person on the street or whatever, you don't know anything about them. You know, like even celebrities, actors, musicians, because you have experienced things through them, you have become a part of them as well. They have become a part of you. So even like, you know, oh my gosh, Elvis Presley, we lost Elvis, right? Like everyone was grieving over Elvis Presley, right? Michael Jackson, oh my gosh, you know, we lost Michael. There are individuals that it touched the whole entire world, when they pass, Princess Diana, there's a lot of individuals that we never met in person, we never got to know on a personal level, but because we experienced life with them and we experienced their experiences, creators experience through them, it's all helped us in having that bond and that connection. And that's the one thing about, for me, I don't really like that we're focused so much on segregation here on this planet right now. There's so many people who, they live their lives with borders, and for me, we are all connected. We're all one. We're all connected, all through Creator. We all come from Creator, creation. But then individuals, humans have decided that they want to label it as this or that. Like I said, you want to label it as Allah, Buddha, Gandhi, Krishna, Shiva, Vishnu, like Jesus, whichever name you want to put on that source of energy, that love that you want to focus on. Just also realize that by doing so, it creates this, it creates a division, an unnecessary division. We don't need it, but yet everyone is accepting of it, and I don't know. I find it interesting that there are individuals who want to fight for their little territories or their little spots here on Earth. Like it's mine. It's like, well, nothing is ours. When you can get to that realization, nothing is ours. And the elite know these kind of things. They know all about what I'm speaking of, on how life works and the energy and the whole coming back through, that all these souls are just recycled souls in and out. So for them, it doesn't matter what bad, and it's not really bad or good, but more positive and negative. And they look at it, well, is it a positive or negative effect for their life and their generations to come? Is what they're doing going to benefit their generational territory? So they're securing their land or their place on Earth, their time on Earth in that way. It's very interesting how people, we have generation after generation of individuals who, they've set themselves up. They know that they're going to be around and their bloodline is going to be around. But what's funny is that, we may have different, type A, type B, different types of blood like that, right? And then they're able to pinpoint what's in it through the chromosomes and different things like that, through the genomes, right? But it's still all Creator's, it's all Creator's blood. We're all connected in that way. So even by labeling it as this or that or whatever, people have gotten lost in knowing that we're all connected in that way. And so for me, it just helps in knowing that we all must go at some point, and it's sad and it's really hard, but it helps to know that we all must go. And when you can accept that someone's journey is going to have to end before it does, you know, or you can see like, oh, their health is diminishing, their diseasement is getting more and more. You know, their 4 stages is they've finished the birthing process. They're now going through the disease and the old age. And even if you have a young body, your body may age quicker than others. You know, some people may be in like a 30-year-old body, but be feeling like they're 60 years old because their aging process, maybe they had a diseasement that aged their body a lot quicker in those ways. So, you know, it's just helpful to know we're all going to go through these stages, but at the same time, you know, it's hard to lose people because of our connections, because of our experiences. We want to continue to share more with them. You know, these are the people that for some reason, while we're here on Earth, we found them. Out of the billions of people here on this planet, we have a handful of individuals that we hold dear, that we love so much with all our hearts, you know. And every individual we love with all of our hearts, you know. So how many hearts do we have? Just kidding. But for real, you know, like we love them with all of our heart, with all of our soul. You know, we love them with, and you see that with all of our heart and all of our soul, with all of our spirit, with all of our God self. That's why we connect with these people in this way. We connect with their God self. And with that experience of God self, because there's some individuals that are going through a different sort of experience that you maybe don't want to connect with in this lifetime or in a moment in the lifetime. And that's a really interesting concept, is like, you know, to think, well, maybe back then nothing could have happened, but right now we can have a bond and a friendship and a connection, you know. There are those sort of things that happen. And I don't know if I have the light on or not. Make sure that's turned on. So, as we lose individuals, you know, we lose those connections, and we lose the opportunity to share more with them. And I think that's what brings us that sadness, is, you know, that we were looking forward to having one more story with them again and again and again and again. We were looking forward to having that meal with them again and again, you know, to being able to hug them, to being able to you know, if you lose your husband or your wife, to be able to love and kiss them, to be able to spend time with them, you know, like to lose someone that close to you, that you're experiencing life that closely, so bonded and so connected through your God self and their God self within. You have that strong magnet that brings you together in that way. That when you tear that magnet apart, you're losing a part of your polarity. You're losing a part of that energy that you once had and you shared with those individuals. That God spark. It's what holds, it's that Higgs boson particle that holds us all together. And when that gets pulled apart, it's like pulling apart atoms and destroying them. And that's why it hurts so bad, because we literally get ripped apart from one another. They get pulled up back to the spiritual realm, and maybe they come back and maybe they don't. Maybe they figured out how to remove themselves from the cycle of birth and death, while they were here experiencing life, and maybe they didn't and had no idea that there was a way to remove yourself from all of this suffering, the cycle of birth and death, disease and old age. Maybe you had no idea that there was a way out of it. Maybe you had no way of knowing there was a way of not having to come back to this lower loka, and that you can remain in the spiritual realm in the upper lokas, in a whole different vibrational energy and frequency. A lot of people really believe that our experience here on earth is the end all be all. And everyone is welcome to those opinions, but this information has already been laid out for us to know. But people have decided to go their own way, go their own path, away from what's already been shared with us and given to us. It's why, like nowadays when people are learning about the history of the planet, like, oh my gosh, like these ancient civilizations were so advanced. Like, oh my gosh, like how did they know? It's because everything was already written down in the Vedas and the Cantos, and so all the information was already provided. But then at some point in life, there were individuals, dictators, who decided that they wanted to suppress knowledge, that they wanted to be raised up on the altar, and they wanted everyone to have the God, the creation, that connection with life itself. They wanted everyone to be dumbed down from it and to be disconnected from what it truly is, and to never know about the 4 stages of suffering, about removing oneself, removing one's soul from this process. So they're not allowed to continue to use you on this planet for whatever reasons they have, in making you work, enslaving you into a 9-to-5 job, enslaving you into a mortgage or a lease, to where you're obligated in order to pay these things, or you'll be put on the streets, right? And then they've taken over all the land on the planet, so there is no more sovereign land, so you can't just go and live off the land, right? Like Creator intended for us all to live, like the animals in the wild. Now we have civilization and society, and everyone's working these 9-to-5 jobs, and everyone's stuck in a rut, stuck in the grind, and have no idea how to simply remove themselves into the spiritual realm of things and not be too focused on all of that, and knowing that, if you don't do this or you don't do that, you don't oblige the rules of society. And see, that's the whole thing, is we're now being dictated that we have to do this and we have to do that. And they've taken over the land to where we can't just go and build a home. Like, I have the knowledge to be able to lay down a foundation and use the material from the land to be able to create some sort of place to live, a shelter, a home of some sort, and with the knowledge that I've obtained in many years, it would be a very beautiful home. It would be, so self-reliant and self-sufficient in these ways. The processes I was teaching people over at Camp 2 Dog, how they can make their 4 stages of suffering a little bit less and make it more happier, to enjoy life, to enjoy the 4 stages of suffering. you know, by having these ways set up to where life is just a little bit easier. Just a little bit easier, a little bit less sufferable. But I don't know what I was talking about because I got distracted with talking about building land. Yeah, so we have nowhere to just go to. They've taken the land. They've taken God's land, the sovereign land, from the people, and they've now taxed it. So taxes are the rule of the land. That's basically what everything is revolving around and what everyone is unknowingly worshiping. You all make sure to take care of that, right? But you forget about your spiritual path because you're so focused on the material, and that's the illusion, the Maya, the material illusion of life. And the individuals who are illuminated, they have illuminated themselves with this knowledge that they understand that they can then use it against everyone, the whole entire planet, the whole entire human race, except for any tribes that are out there that are sovereign still and still live off the land. But pretty much the whole entire world has been colonized, you know. Like even this day, we've got a lot of indigenous individuals who talk about, you know, they point the finger and they say, you colonizers, while they're like on the phones or on cell phones, they're using technology of how we've all become colonized, right? And enslaved into this way instead of living off the land and going back to spiritual life and spiritual living in a way that is cohesive with our material lives and our bodily living here on earth. And it would be so nice if we could get to a point where we could all reconnect again, just like water does. You know, the ocean doesn't care which water source you've evaporated from. The ocean doesn't care if you've come from some scummy pond water or out of a swimming pool or from the top of the Alps, from the snow. The ocean doesn't care where you've evaporated from. The ocean will always just welcome you back in. We are all drops of water in this vast ocean of life. Water is life, and every drop counts. So, getting back to losing individuals, life and loss. In the recent months here, we've had several individuals that we've lost, and some of them being prominent individuals in my life. The first one was a good friend of mine's sister, who her sister I ended up getting to know as well, and at one point in life I gifted her sister a juicer because her sister wanted to become more healthy and start getting all this, like using up all the fruit and vegetables and stuff that we were acquiring through through different harvests and different things, to where you have an abundance of fruit. It's too much. That what are you going to do with it? So she chose that she wanted to juice it. And then right before her passing, her sister, my friend, ended up asking me if I wanted the juicer back. That her sister wasn't really using the juicer much anymore. And I was like, yeah, I'd love it back. Like, that's an amazing, it's a Jack LaLanne juicer, top of the line. Jack LaLanne. But yeah, it was a really nice, easy to clean, stainless, all stainless, I believe, if I remember correctly. And yeah, like I didn't even think about what maybe was the case on why maybe her sister wasn't using it anymore. But within a matter of a few weeks to a month of us talking about the juicer and that connection of me and her sister, we end up losing her sister. And so that was the first hit recently that I can remember. There might have been one before that. I mean, in the last few years, I've lost aunties and uncles and maybe even cousins, a couple friends, during the whole pandemic and things. But just recently, it seems like it's been one after the other after the other. So June, we had our friend's sister pass away. And that was really sad. I know her sister, her sister, her mom, and it was just such a sad, tragic event to occur. And then, after that, we're hanging out with our friend Manny over at ABQ Bite, doing events once a month, every first Sunday, which, tomorrow's the first Sunday of the month. We may be out vending again. And our friend Manny started having health issues and then started to need dialysis. And, within that time of us losing our friend, our friend's sister, Manny was going through his health issues and things for a few months before that. And July 10th, we ended up losing him. And that was quite sudden because I had just seen him, not too long before that, hanging out, just talking. Him and I were always talking about life and family life and, trying to offer advice to one another and things like that. And him and I, we didn't know each other for very long, but in that time that we connected, we connected in such a way that our souls, our spirits connected, that he became my brother and my brother in God. And we always spoke about God and about life and love and our our relationships and our issues in our relationships and things like that. He was a good brother to me, and one of the few brothers that I have now where I can actually talk about those things, and talking about like issues with, trying to see your children and having issues with the exes and things like that, and going through, just going through stuff that, some of us men have to deal with. So he was a really good friend in that way, and it was a really harsh loss. That one was really hard for me. And then, after losing him, then I find out that we lost an elder from our community. And this individual is a worldly renowned shamanic healer. He's one of the crystal skull keepers. He was just very connected in many different ways and throughout the world, and people knew him. That was a hard hit for our whole entire community around the world. And so yeah, when we lost Lionfire, that one was pretty hard, and having my experience with him and connecting with the skull, with the sacred skull that he keeps, that was a loss that it hit me, in my soul, in my heart and my soul. And then after that, maybe a week later, we're all talking July, and we're only in October, like July, August, September, October, I guess. We're not even in October yet. July, August, September. In 3 months, it's like then another individual find out we lost a good friend of ours to, well, I won't say what, but due to unfortunate circumstances. And this brother of ours was really close and connected to us, and I hadn't spoke to him in many years, but he was our drummer for Element 37, and he wasn't full-time drummer with us for many years, but when our main drummer Oski took off to go to school to learn about recording, engineering, and things like that. And our friend Gavin ended up sitting in, and we ended up having rehearsals, at least once, twice a week, having shows like every weekend, every other weekend. We entered in the Battle of the Bands contest here in Albuquerque, and we were just smoking the competition round after round after round, and then something happened. I don't know or remember what happened, and I don't remember if our band ended up falling apart at that time or what happened, but we ended up having a forfeit and drop out of the competition when we were pretty much going to take it. And Gavin was our drummer during that time. We had a lot of fun. I don't know if any of those shows were ever recorded. I've been looking and I can't find anything, so I don't know if there's other individuals out there who maybe recorded us and they've got some of that footage, but it would be really cool to put it up and share it out, here on YouTube or on Facebook somewhere, or any of the other streams platforms. And so we lost Gavin, at least a month and a half ago, from what I'm remembering, probably towards the end of July, maybe early August. Actually, I'm remembering it was right around the time of my daughter's birthday. I think it might have been on her birthday. And I was sad for her birthday, and I was trying to hide it. And, when I found out that we lost our brother, our drummer, our bandmate, our friend, and we lost Gavin, that one hit me so hard. And I couldn't believe it. It's just like, what's going on? Like, I'm losing all these good friends, my good friend Manny, and then losing him, and then these other two that I was connected with. And then, I'm trying to remember, 'cause I've already lost track. There's been so many. There's probably been others in the community that I'm not remembering 100% as well. But I know that we recently lost a musician from our community here in Albuquerque, Scotty and the Atomics, and he just had his life celebration, which today is actually Gavin's celebration, his life celebration here in Albuquerque. So we're going to go over there today and honor him. And, I would love to bring my guitar, play a little music in his honor, but my guitar is broken. I still have to repair it. So, and I've been trying to get it going. I'm getting closer and closer every day. So I won't be performing today, but if someone else has a guitar, then I can always pick up their guitar and perform and sing, or at least sing along if people know my music, or we could just come up with something on the spot. But yeah, it's going to be hard, and I'm actually going to have to get going here soon to get ready for that. I just wanted to talk about life, talk about loss, maybe to try to help you guys in your journeys and love and loss and life and loss. And let's see, there was a couple others recently we lost. Apparently I lost my last living uncle. So my dad is now the last of his brothers and sisters. I mean, he had a lot. I believe it was like 7 brothers, 1 sister, or maybe there were 7 of them total. But yeah, huge family. And so I just lost my last living uncle. And he actually went to go see my dad a week before he passed, out of nowhere. They haven't spoken in years. And one of our cousins took my uncle over there, which that's the other thing too, is I was like, wait, that's not your dad. So apparently our uncle had kind of took in our cousin when she lost her father, when I lost my uncle there. And so she took him to see our dad, and a week later he passes. That's crazy. And I know that my father is going to be going here soon as well. So I know that's coming up. And then recently had a friend who was in the hospital, who is extremely well known in our community, and that I thought I was going to lose him. That would have been a huge hit to the community, a huge loss. And as we're praying for him and worrying about him, then we end up losing one of our elders in our community, in our cosmic family, our good friend, Dr. Blue. And he's someone that I've recently been hanging out with, seeing on a regular, been going over to his home. He's been hiring me to come in and help him with just, simple things. Well, which some of us may find simple and take for granted, but there are individuals who can't do these tasks anymore, like cleaning their own bathroom, folding and hanging their own laundry, these sort of things. And so I knew that we were going to lose our good friend, Dr. Blue. And so I was there, just a few weeks ago helping him out. And on the day that he passed, I was going to reach out to him and find out when he would like me to come back over. The last time I was there, I was vacuuming, and the vacuum went out. And we decided to call it a day there. And it was like, well, we'll try to figure it out. I think he was going to try to have his roommate work on the vacuum to see if he can get it to pick up again. And yeah, I was going to call and find out if the vacuum was fixed and if I could come back to finish up the cleaning there and doing whatever else he needed. And so now I know I'll be going over there to help out with Barbara, who lives there, and because she has also been hiring me for my help, which has been helping me and my family as well. All these side jobs that I take to help out others, it helps out our family with being able to provide and whatever we need. And so I know that Barbara will be calling upon me very soon in order to help out with organizing, with removing different things that that we're going to have to make space. I believe so in the home. I don't know. There's so much that happens when a person passes. Some people like to keep the rooms in their honor and just never have it used by anyone else ever again. And some people, yeah. And some people just, pack up everything and just donate it out. So I don't know what's going to happen with all the items. I just know that I was being hired to help with the decluttering and organizing already. And now this is going to be a major declutter and organization at this point. But we'll be able to get the home in order, and we'll make sure it's all nice and clean. I'm pretty sure that we will do another concert there in his honor. His home there, his private venue, home venue, is known as Blues Notes, and so I'm sure we'll have one more concert at Blues Notes for Dr. Blue. So I need to get my guitar fixed here really soon. And with that being said, I also need to start getting ready for our friend Gavin's memorial today. If you knew Gavin and would like to join us, please reach out to me on the comments here, and I'll comment back, or we'll figure out how to get to you. I don't want to just blast it up and just let the whole public know where we're going to be today. I don't have permission from family to do so. Alright, let me check the time real quick. Okay, yeah, so it's after 9 o'clock. I need to get ready to go, so this is going to be the last one. We're going to put this in the kiln. And I just want to remind you all that we're all connected. We are all drops of water in this vast ocean of life. Water is life, and every drop counts. That means you count, I count, we all count. Our souls count. Our souls are sacred. We're all connected to the sacred waters of Creator, of creation. The sacred waters that we were born within. In your mother's womb, in the embryonic fluids that are within the placenta. We're all born in the sacred waters. The tears that we cry with all the sacred waters from within. We're all connected in these ways through the macro and the micro. We're all going through the same experience of the cycle of birth and death until we can achieve learning how to remove ourselves from the cycle of birth and death, to move upward and onward to a higher locus where we don't have to return here anymore, to the lower loka, the loka that many know, or it's at least been suggested, that this is the realm that was given to the Dark One, to the fallen angel, to that draconian spirit that wouldn't give in to the fact that Creator is the end all be all. Creation is the end all be all. And so we got to remember, this is the lower loka that was given to Lucifer, which is supposed to be the lighted one, right? Which then comes to the Illuminati, Draconians, all that. And so remember that there is a way out of this cycle of birth and death, but we are all going through this experience of birth, death, of disease, of old age, in between the cycle of birth and death. And as I was saying earlier, maybe there's a little bit more to it. Maybe there's a few more stages after you reach death. Maybe there's something beyond that. But I believe from that point, if you don't reach Vrindavan or find that spiritual realm of removing yourself from birth and death, then you just come right back. I don't know if there's anything in between birth and death. I know there's, besides, on the way in, there's birth, disease, old age, death, then birth, disease, old age, death, birth, disease, old age, death. 4. The Holy Trinity of 4. Or the sacred 4. Not the Holy Trinity, that's 3. That's different. I just want to remind you all that nothing is ours, that it all belongs to Creator. And so when you can remember that, it helps you to be able to relinquish things that aren't ours and allow them to go back. That way you don't hold on to them. That way you don't become possessed by them, or they become possessions in a way that they get stuck here in this realm. You want to allow them to move on and to move forward, to continue to grow and go. So with all that being said, I just want to send you all my love and my blessings, and to let you know that we are all brothers and sisters in this whole collection, this whole entire community from Creator. We're all one. Water is life. Every drop counts. And we are all drops of water in this vast ocean of life. Remember that. I hope that some of what I'm speaking today helps to allow you to understand these connections and why it's so painful for us, but how we can make it a little bit easier in losing those, and knowing, when you anticipate that you're going to lose someone, I already know I will lose my children. My children will lose me at some point in time. We have to understand this, we have to know this, and we have to accept it. It doesn't mean we don't have to be sad about it. It doesn't mean that we don't have to drop our sacred tears back to Mother Earth because of it. It doesn't mean that we don't have to grieve and we don't have to feel sorrow. These emotions are still very sacred for us to be able to process the loss of the loved ones. But then let's remember to just rejoice and embrace, to remember all their memories, and to then celebrate their life, celebrate their journey by sharing their stories, sharing their experiences, sharing your experiences with them, with others. not allowing their story to diminish as well. And so, with that being said, I honor all of my friends that we've lost. I send my love and my blessings to your eternal spirit souls and to everyone living and deceased, to all your living spirit souls. I send you my love and blessings. Hare Krishna. Hare Bol. You guys have a beautiful day. I'm going to go and honor my brother Gavin now. See you soon.